So, with all the talk about Nightmare Mode and the upcoming Tower Battles Part 2 event, John finally got me thinking about TDX again, specifically the lore of this game. Tower Battles and TDX are incredibly closely linked, and I had one burning question randomly pop into my mind. Who are we actually playing as in TDX? You may be rushing to the comments to tell me, Salts, we're playing as ourselves. Every game of TDX, you're controlling your Roblox avatar. I find that incredibly improbable that the person controlling the GDA troops is some ethereal giant that walks around the battlefield. My dear viewer, were it so easy. I hope you brought your popcorn, because today I'm going to explain to you why in TDX you're playing as none other than the commander from Tower Battles. Again, I know I'm going to have to ask you to slow down and write in that comment real quick, although do make sure to drop a subscribe and a like while you're down there, because the evidence to support this seemingly outrageous claim really starts to add up once you look into it. But first off, who even is this commander guy for the people who aren't super familiar with TDX or Tower Battles? The commander, whose real name is Flynn Davis, is the protagonist of Tower Battles and the one who led the GDA against the Void in the events of Tower Battles' core mode. Little expedition is actually directly given in Tower Battles outside of introducing who the Void is, who is an eldritch god that created the zombie apocalypse that nearly destroyed the world. However, as we actually learn in the TDX X Tower Battles event, the world's governments and military forces would end up joining together to form the Global Defense Agency, or the GDA for short, an organization that would assume total control of the world in return for spending all military assets to try to destroy the Void. The commander, aka you the player in Tower Battles, would of course end up killing the Void in battle, as we experienced in the actual Tower Battles game mode all those years ago. But how does all of this tie into TDX? After all, Tower Battles and TDX are indeed two separate games. For that question, we need to look at the first event in the TDX Tower Battles timeline, Tower Defense X's tutorial. TDX's tutorial takes place before the start of Tower Battles, as Dr. Xenon has yet to betray the GDA, and you, as a cadet, are fighting robots intended to mimic zombies, signaling that the zombie apocalypse brought on by the Void has yet to cease. It should be noted, some parts of this theory contain some light embellishing and speculation in order to make it more entertaining to tell and have a bit more flavor, although I will be trying my best to stick to evidence. So with that, sit back, relax, and let me paint you a story, supported by both games' respective lore. You're Flynn Davis, an eager tactician from some forgotten old world army with dreams of joining the brand new Global Defense Agency. You enlist to join as a cadet, a role that directs small troop movements as we see being done in the tutorial mode, having been taught how to use rangers and missile troopers. You meet Dr. Xenon, a leading GDA scientist who administers your initial basic training with her prototype zombie robots meant to mimic the Void's forces that are currently ravaging the world. After passing your training, you move out into the world, completing small missions, ranking up in service to the early GDA. After some time, you finally reach the highly coveted and desired Commander rank, held by very few within the GDA. Your army is rather unique to you, as throughout your battles you've recruited many mercenary forces that differ from the GDA's main army. We see this in-game via the art style change from standard GDA troops and Tower Battles troops in the trailer. Additionally, this is proven by how Tower Battles handled events, the commander having recruited new towers to their army after completing various missions laid before them. This is exactly how events work in Tower Battles, and therefore supports this theory. Being one of few commanders of such a high tactical level, the commander is tasked to reinforce an ongoing battle. The GDA in the Borderlands is under attack. One of the GDA's highest officers, John, is engaged with Void's army, and they are losing. Fast. We see these events unfold in the TDX X Tower Battles trailer, with John asking where his reinforcements are, where, sure enough, the commander arrives with his unique troops. This then directly ties into the Tower Battles game mode, where the Void, fed up with his army's incompetence, attacks himself, where he ultimately dies at the hands of the player. And with that, we have a plausible connection between the TDX tutorial mode and the events of the Tower Battles mode. But there's just one issue with this. How can you be playing as the commander when he is literally a narrator in the Tower Battles normal mode? This question stumped me for quite some time, but there is an answer I actually feel pretty confident in here. I believe that the Tower Battles mode in TDX is actually a retelling of the original Tower Battles story, as the concept of time travel isn't really within the GDA's wheelhouse even though they are quite technologically advanced. Additionally, look at the way the Commander NPC narrates. Every line of dialogue he has is expositional, meaning everything he says is purely relating to the gameplay of the mode, not the whole overarching story. I believe this is an act of metagaming by the TDX developers, addressing purely gameplay elements of the mode, as the commander thinks back on this battle and tells the story to some aspiring cadets. Another route you can take here is that the tower battle modes are simulations created by the GDA to train cadets on what is arguably their hardest fought win at the time, with the commander responsible for the victory instructing the cadets. Especially since in his opening dialogue, commander says, "Welcome back, cadet," implying that we have met him before, when this is his only appearance with speaking dialogue in the whole game. Moving on to the main modes and story of Tower Defense X, we immediately, upon playing any mode, are referred to as Commander by every single narrator in the game. Advisor never formally introduces himself to us, we just get straight to the job at hand. Even the events of this game support this. In Christmas 2024 Part 2 Nightmare Mode, Dr. Xenon automatically assumes we know who Frosty is, as if, I don't know, we were the ones who slayed him all those years ago. Additionally, the player's actual XP-based player rank is never addressed in lore, despite TDX's ranks being a part of the GDA's hierarchy and structure. Additionally, in later event modes, Dr. Xenon and the Wretch refer to the player once again as Commander. It's my theory, dear viewer, that we are not the narrative center of this game. No, not by a long shot. We as players are merely various GDA leaders watching Flynn Davis, the Commander, single-handedly defending everything Dr. Xenon, the Void, and the Wretch can throw at the GDA. Robots powered with the energy of hell, a magical army from the north led by a general second-handing the strongest threat since the Void, and an entire demonic invasion from hell. We are watching as one single man has the tactical genius to defend an entire world from threats, new and old. One man in his army has slain titans, gods, and everything in between. The Commander is truly strong. We are not just some nameless force here. We are the Commander, and this game is his story experienced firsthand. So that's it for my first ever TDX theory. I really enjoyed doing a total deep dive on the Commander and exploring the narrative structure and the timeline of Tower Defense X and Tower Battles. That being said, I am definitely new to this whole Roblox theory thing, so let me know if y'all liked it. Additionally, let me know what other games or characters you'd want to see a theory on. That's all for this one, guys. Subscribe for more salts. Make sure to double check as if you have, as I've thought I'm subscribed to channels for years and then found out I wasn't. It really does make me super happy. I love talking to y'all, and it really helps a ton. Like the video if you liked the video, and hey, if you didn't like it, join my Discord in the description and tell me why. Join if you liked it too, let's discuss. Take care, you all, and as always, make stuff you're proud of.